Okay, the recording is on. And let me get started here. Okay, so you started, let's see here. All right. By the way, good job creating that script. Now you probably got the idea how you just incorporate that, right? Just sitting there and running it. It will just do it for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. I saw it. Actually, it's working script. That's all you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good, very good. I'm really impressed. So,
Thank you, sir.
sure. So, let's see here. We worked on comment out. Okay, so we all have done this little calculation. So, let's play around with the variable again. Just to make sure, I want to talk about variables so that you have a strong understanding of what a variable is. Variable, as I said, it's you know you could make up anything. So um, let's okay. So okay, let me 0752020 and you could see my screen and everything, hear me good, right? I rearranged my computer here, so I want to make sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about variable. Okay, example. So okay, variable. Okay, what is variable? Variable is a uh, what is a variable? Okay, it is a variable is a placeholder for a input and commands etc. Okay, we'll see how this works here. And etc. You can make up your own variable as needed. Okay, so okay, so let's take a look here. So I'm going to say variable example. Okay, and okay, yeah, let me make this bigger here so that you. Okay, good. So what we'll do is okay, so I'm gonna create a script here called variable. So remember, now that I have a template script, I am copying each time, and then I'm gonna give it a variable name. I'm gonna give it a variable.sh, okay? And I'll hit enter. And then I'm gonna go vi variable. And I'm gonna go here. This is a variable example. Okay. And I'll leave that in there, okay? So what I'll do is I'll type in Illinois. No, I'll type in Chicago. Chicago equals Illinois. Okay, and New York equals NY. Okay, so what will happen here is I'm gonna say echo then I'll say dollar Chicago is in Midwest. Okay, and I'm gonna say echo again and then say echo dollar New York. So you have to type same exact the way you wrote it. Is in East Coast. Okay, I'm gonna save and exit, and I will say variable and hit enter. So what happened here is it's not asking you for any input or anything. It just runs it for you, because what it'll do is it will replace it's just a placeholder. Whatever you put it in a placeholder, it's gonna do the output here. So what this is saying is, this is a variable example. Chicago is Illinois. Chicago is a placeholder, right? And what does it equals to? It equals to Illinois. So over here, it changes. Chicago will change to Illinois here because we are calling and telling here whatever that Chicago is, change it here. So this is gonna change it to Illinois here. So the output is Illinois is in Midwest. And then for New York, we had just an NY here. So it changes to NY in East Coast here. It's very, very simple. You can't get simpler than this here. So this kind of variable, actually this is a static variable. Okay, so I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna put a pound sign. Why am I calling static here? Because it's not going to change. It will. The variable is not changing, right? So if the variable doesn't change, then it is a static variable. Okay. All right. Let's create this here. So variable example static. And well, let's look at the dynamic here. Dynamic is gonna change as the user input changes. Dynamic. Okay, so let me exit out of here. Actually, I will give it a name. Variable dot static dot sh. Okay, I'll give this like this here. Now I'm gonna copy the template again, and then I'm gonna say variable instead of static, dynamic dot sh. Okay, vi variable dynamic. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna say dynamic variable. So I'm gonna change it here. Static variable. This is a variable. This is a static variable example. Okay, and this is a dynamic variable here. So what I'm going to do here is, I think you already got introduced to a dynamic variable. Here we used it yesterday, right? You have to use it, read, and then you have to give some name against it. So let's do that here. So what I'm going to do is read so read, I'm going to say okay, let's do read Chicago. Okay, and let's do another read and then we'll give New York. Okay, so what happens is I'm going to give a pound sign. This is a dynamic variable. Okay, and pound sign. This is a dynamic. Okay, alright, so let's do this here. And what I'll do is I'll echo I'll do echo enter a Midwest place. Okay, and then I'll say echo, and it will go dollar Chicago is in Midwest. Okay, echo, and I say echo New York is in East Coast.
Sir, there would be $sign before New York.
Yeah. Echo. Yeah, I'll put that in there. Right there, right? Yeah, very good. Good observation here, because if you don't have all this here, it will break the script. Say enter East Coast place. Okay, so simple. So each time you put in any number, doesn't matter here. Right now, it's just gonna replace that. So I'm gonna go variable dynamic .sh, and I'll hit. Okay, what is happening here? Oh, okay. So let's take a look here. Enter a Midwest place. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna DD. Okay, and then I'm gonna go up here DD, and then I'm gonna go up for obvious reason right now. Okay, so it looks congested here, but it will work. I'm gonna clear this, and so enter a Midwest place. So I'm gonna type Iowa. So it says Iowa is in Midwest. I'm gonna say New Jersey. Okay, so this is just a dumb examples here. So idea is what you're doing here is it's changing here. When you use the read command, it will change it for you. Okay, so it doesn't have it like this one here. There is no way to change Illinois and New York. Is gonna be when you run this script here, is gonna be same exact output all the time here. This output changes with the input. Okay, alright, so I think you all got it here, so I don't have to explain too much. Okay, so I'm gonna paste it here.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah,
Like for example, you have written echo enter a Midwest place, and below that you have read Chicago. So whatever we're going to input will automatically go into Chicago. I mean, how would Linux know that Chicago is a variable, and whatever I enter has to go into Chicago? Is it that the variable is just coming after that echo, which is why?
yeah. It's just the order. It's just order of the command here. remember these are just the commands here, okay? You could
Okay.
run all these commands on the command line and it will do the same exact behavior.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, good. So, good question. And yeah, so most of the time you would be using uh, this here. So the script you used yesterday, you used a static script here. So you could ask the system to input or change the name as you go. Okay, so you could start putting dollar signs. I think you created a script yesterday that has a. Let me take a look here. So almost everything you put it in there is static. But if you know how to use it now, you could start using it dynamic here. So uh, you will get it. If you play around, you will get it. And later in the course, we will see for everything we'll create a script. That way you have the good example of each services we're gonna create script for. Okay, but you are ahead of the curve here. So yeah, go ahead and try it on your own, and then you should be good. Okay, so this is the output, and that's how it's gonna work now. Okay, so let me explain you something here. So far, okay, so far, if you look at our scripts here, so this is a command, this is a command, this is a command, this is a command, this is a command. All these are running when the line is starting, right? That's why it's running just fine. Because what is happening here is rewrite all these are right on the CLI. Because when the script runs, it's putting this line in there. Doom. Dumping it this line on the command line interface, okay? So let's see here, duplicate session. So what is happening? We have first line here. The results is going to be the same here. So I told you already. So it says Midwest place, okay? And then it goes here, read Chicago. Now we're going to give the name Iowa. So it's in the memory here. I think I told you how to check what's in the memory. And then if I type this here, then it says Iowa is in Midwest. Then if I say echo, it just say echo. Okay, and then if I say echo enter East Coast place, and it's gonna just say the line, then it's automatically running this line here. Okay, and then I say New Jersey, and it does that. It's so, and then the second command runs is like this here. So what is this doing here is these commands are running automatically. One command is done, the other one is running, okay? So what is happening here is instead of sitting there and running each command, the script is running, and it does it for you, and it stops it where you need to take the input. Okay, so let me just run it variable, and then oh, what was it? Dynamic, right? So it ran this one here. It ran the first line. Now it needs an input, so that's why it's waiting here. Okay, it ran this line here and then waiting for it. So I'll type this time I type St. Louis. Okay, and it says St. Louis is in Midwest here. Why is it saying that? Because it ran this part and it ran echo. It ran this one, and then it's waiting at this pair. This read will stop the script, and it's waiting for you. It will wait there until you kill the script. Okay, if you forget about entering anything and you you went on a vacation for 2 weeks and come back, it will still be there, okay, as long as the system is up. Okay, so you get the idea what I'm trying to say. And you type buffalo and it will run the rest of the script here. Okay, so I think this is enough here, the explanation. Okay, so let's move forward here. So this has been easy here. So what if the command is coming in the middle of a line here? If you want to write something and the command comes like in the middle of a line, okay, how are we gonna do it? Middle of a text, how are we gonna do it? Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. Let's see here, variable. Running command middle of the comment line. I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, so let me do this here. So I'm gonna X out of here, I'm gonna clear it, I'm gonna create another script here, CP, and then I'm gonna copy template, and then I'm gonna give what I'm gonna give here is a comment line. Okay, not comment line, command. Yeah, I don't like it. Any suggestions what I should type in? The script is okay, we'll just say backtick. Okay, so this is a backtick. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is echo. Okay, and I say I am running the ls-l command, and I'll give you ls-l. So what will happen is when you run this won't work. Okay, so the command didn't work, it's just the text here. Okay, so if you want to run the command in the middle of a line, middle of a comment line, all you have to do is go in here and put a backtick. Backtick is on the escape key. I'm sorry, not escape key. Right next to the tilde. Yesterday I think I showed you this, right? But I'm showing you officially here. Everybody look on your keyboard here. You have find number 1 on the longer side of your keyboard, and this is a little dot, backwards leaning quote is called backtick, and the one above here, this one is tilde. Okay, we'll use that later on too, but we'll worried about backtick right now. So you are using this key. You're not using anything else here. Okay, and don't get confused between single quote and backtick. Very important. Most of the time, this is what the problem is. Okay, now if I run this, I will actually have the output. See, it says I am running the command, and then it's actually giving the output here. So what you could do is you could make it clear. You could make it look good. Okay. So um, so what it is, I'm running a command ls. So I think this is good enough here. So what it does is it runs the command. It picks up when you have something in backtick codes, it picks that up as a command. Okay, so let me do YYP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the command df -h, and in a backtick you type df -h. So what it does is so I do it here. I run this command here and it does it for you. So I'm running a df-h command and it's doing it for you. Okay, so let's clear this. So what happened here is so if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to put the um, command here, if it's coming, the command is coming in the middle of a comment, that's what you do here. Okay, so that's it.
I have one question.
Yeah.
So after the first echo ls hyphen l, can't we run df hyphen h beside it, like giving
Yeah,
a
yeah.
comma df
You
hyphen h
you will
something?
run into situation when you're writing a script here. You will be writing bunch of commands to run simultaneously, and you won't have access to the start of the line. Okay, so this is when you will be using it. Okay. Of course, if you put it here, then you could run the command. But as you build up the script here, I'm just showing you here that this is how you would end up doing it if you need to run the command in the middle of a script.
Okay.
All right, did you get it?
No, I'm asking, like, after ls hyphen l, can we give a comma and then df hyphen h,
Yes,
like that? Uh,
yes, why not?
Okay.
And put it in backticks
Okay.
like this.
Got it.
Okay, so like this, and then do PWD. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so I'm running the df and okay, yeah, which one is it here? PWD. So it ran the command PWD. You see it here. Do you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you just get creative here, but because what it is it's just a visual. You know what you're doing here. You just don't have to type any commands, anything. If you know what you're doing here, you could just run the script. But if you want somebody else to understand the script, then you make it nice and clean here. But here's the thing here. Also, you will run into issues. Everybody writes and reads differently, and you are the one what you write is gonna read. But if you want somebody else to read and write the script or understand what you have done, this is what it is. Most of the time, scripts are your own, and you run your own scripts. Um, but if you are getting, you will get into a situation where you have to reach out to Red Hat and all that. They will send you a script to, hey, run the script and then give us the output. So they will write a nice clean script what each script is doing. They put a comments and everything. Okay. For the job to be done, you don't have to put this much information. You just put this script and this. That's it. It will work for you.
Okay.
All right. So let me quit. And I think that's enough information for now. So Now let's talk about how we could use alias uh, inside the script here. I think I told you guys what alias is, right? Don't tell me I didn't tell you. I'll prove it.
No, sir. No, sir, you didn't.
What do you mean I didn't? I'll prove it to you.
An
Basic
alternate
command.
name. It's going to be alternate name of that thing.
Alias. Okay, right here.
Okay,
So,
sir. Sorry, I couldn't remember.
so what you could do is you can create a shortcut for a command you're using, creating your own command, and this is useful when you are running a multiple commands. Okay, so let's go back to our very first script here. Uh, we have this command here, right? We have so many lines in there. So instead of doing this, we could give it a short name. Okay, so it's running this here. So let me clear this, and then I'm gonna create. Just type alias, and you will know these are all the aliases we have in here. Okay. So what you're gonna do is I'm gonna create an alias, alias Syed equals. Now I'm gonna put all that in there and hit enter. Okay, so let me clear this. If I do alias, I should see Syed in there. Oh, okay, Syed was already there to begin with, right? Okay, hold on. So clear it, and I'm gonna type. When you're creating an alias, I think you have to put in quotes. Yeah, put in double quotes. Okay, I type alias. Now look at Syed here, and all these are commands are running here, and it is in quotes here. So if I type Syed, and hit enter, it's gonna run all these commands here. Okay, are you fascinated still? Okay, so if I type Syed, I created my own command here, and now if I hit enter, it's gonna run all those commands. Okay, and to undo Syed as a command, all you have to do is unalias Syed. Okay, and then if you do alias, it's not there. Syed is gone, and if you type Syed, it's not going to recognize it. Okay, so going back here, I think I gave you good information here. Alias com1. Okay, but I didn't tell you how to unalias back then. So unalias command, it will remove the aliases for you. Okay, so but how we gonna use something like this in the command if we need to? Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so alias. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this, and let's see here, cp template alias.sh vi alias. Okay, this is using alias. Okay, So what I'm gonna do here is uh, I'll say alias equals alias Sayed equals, okay, and then I'm gonna type in either the double quotes or the single quotes. So let's type in single quotes here. Okay, and okay, and what you have to do is echo this command is running Sayed. Okay, and then I'm gonna give a backtick. Now you could use, since it has become a command, now I'm gonna give a backtick. Okay, and I'm gonna close this. So I'm gonna save and exit. I'm gonna run this alias. So what does it say? Alias line 7. Command not found. Command not found. Oh, okay. Over here, you have to type. This is a built-in command here, so there is no way around this. Shop T -s expand underscore alias. Okay, so what it will do is it will look for the aliases in the script here. This is something built in here. There is no way around it. Okay, type exactly. So well, you just have to put this on the top of the script. When you're beginning the script, you just put it down, and then anytime the alias is repeating inside your script, it will do it for you. Okay, so let me an exit, and let's do alias. It ran it for you. Okay, why did it ran it for you? Because it is looking at this command here. Now you could say that, okay, you could have this command created locally, right? But here's the thing here, you need to put this in here, because you will, most of the time you will be running the script on many servers simultaneously. Many servers, 10, 15, 20, 40, 100, 200 servers simultaneously, your scripts. So this is when this will come in here, because you can create this command locally here, right? So now you see the power here. Instead of sitting there and creating each command here, you just created a alias for these commands here when you want it to run, and it will run all those commands for you while you just give a single alias here. Okay, so one line is doing all the commands for you. All right, good. All right, hope you are understanding this here. Is this clear? Okay, I'm gonna put this in here, and I'm gonna copy, and I'm gonna paste it here. Okay, give me 2 minutes. I need to go get my coffee. All right, you guys need to take a break. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Let me pause the recording here. Okay. All right, so the recording is back on. So, okay. All right, so let's see here. We've been doing this good, and now what about redirect? You could redirect any script, right? Or okay, so what am I gonna do now? Let's see here. So if you, by the way, you don't have to have anything come up on your screen here, right? You run this command. Okay, it comes on the screen. You could redirect the output here. Can somebody tell me how do I redirect the output? I don't want to see this on the screen here. What do I do?
So greater than sign, two greater than signs,
Okay.
and there was a
Name of the existing file or create a new file. Okay, that's it.
yeah. So there was something that you mentioned where it would lost forever. I forgot its name.
Yeah,
Where you
for the errors.
yes.
Those are for the errors there. Dev null. Okay, yeah, we're not worried about that. But yeah, that's a good thinking here. You would use that if you need to capture. If you are expecting any errors, you just filter out the errors. Okay. So if I type output.txt and hit enter, boom. You won't see it on the screen, but you should have a output.txt file here. And let's cat it. And all your information is sitting in here, okay? Now you could see with the strike of a key how you could manipulate all this stuff in the Linux environment. And this is very, very powerful here, okay? So now what I'm going to do is let's create a script that we could redirect inside the script here, okay? Redirect in script. And keep all these examples with you. Okay, I think I uploaded it already here yesterday. So let's go to right here, scripting. And this is a text file. This is not a PDF. So you go in there and download it and keep this with you for rest of the life here. You will need all this. You started off with nothing and then you are not building. Now you're building up some complex scripts here. Okay, I'll give you an example for each and everything you will ever need it. All you have to do is just build up on it and then edit it as needed. Okay, the more you do it, the better it gets, the more creative you get. I wouldn't be surprised if you create better script than me. Okay, so that's how, once you get the concept, this is what it is. So I think so far you all are comfortable, right? Because when it comes to scripting and programming and all that, people are very fearful how they're gonna do it and all this here. So the important thing is the instructions you're getting, and you just have to follow it and then do it. So I hope so far I've been clear how I'm delivering all these instructions here and what is important, what is not important here. So once you have this, keep going all the way from top to bottom and keep repeating this script. A year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you will get it again, okay? So don't worry, I'm here to help you, but you have to challenge yourself too. So what I'm gonna do is so I'm gonna copy template, and I'm gonna say it, what I'm gonna say to is redirect.sh, okay? And I'm gonna go to redirect.sh. I'm gonna go in here. This template is this is a redirect example. So what I'm gonna do here is, so what I'll do is echo this is line 1 and it will be displayed. Okay, I'm gonna close this. and I'm gonna give couple echoes so that I have some lines, blank lines here. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is echo this line will be sent to temp file. Okay, and in here I'm gonna give the output here, temp file. What will happen is when this script will create, it will create this file. It will find one. If it's not there, then it will create one. So I think I already talked to you about three kind of redirect, right? Input, output, and output error. Right here, redirector. If you do this here, standard input, output is single output, and then if you do 2 greater than, then it's a, it will append to the line here, but that's not important here. So 0, when you have the arrow pointing towards the left, that means it's an input file, and when you have arrow going on the outside, it is output file, and this is a error output. It will filter out error output. So actually it's a 0, 1, 2. So 0 starts with, but we could give 0. I think I explained you 0 is there in the old times here, but if the 0 is not there, that means it's understood here. So typing a leading 0 is meaningless these days here, right? So let's see, where is the calculator? Okay, can somebody tell me what is this? What is this? 1000, right? So if I have 0, 0, and then this is also 1000, it's not coming up here. So I type here 1. This is the same thing as 0, 0 for humans. This is the same thing here. So that's what it's using it here. 10,000, 0, 0, 10,000 for the arithmetic calculation. But don't get confused with binary here. So that's too much information so far now. So but anyway, so what will happen is this line will be written to the temp file, and the temp file is not there yet. So I'm gonna say output sent to temp file. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is so I'm going to say echo following commands output will be sent to file, output 1. Okay, and then I'm gonna say echo. I'm just making this up here. Okay, so I'm gonna say all the output of this all is going here, so I'm gonna make up all these lines here. So that is just the echo line here, but what I'm gonna do is echo, and what I'll do is quote backtick, and I'm gonna run this here, close the backtick and close the quote. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this output to output 1. Output output 1. Okay, so what will happen is output sent to temp file. Yeah, you could do a lot of manipulation here. Okay, sky is the limit. And I'll put a pound sign and I go. Okay, so you could definitely give it a .txt also. This is extra, so I'm gonna remove that .txt. So what is happening here? Some of the part of the script is gonna be displayed on the screen. The other part which we are redirecting goes to the redirected file. Okay, I'm gonna save and exit. So let me go ahead and let's do ls here. So the output.txt file is already there, right? So it's going to create output.1.txt. And then what is the other file we have in the script here? So we have one file called temp file, and another file is going to create output.txt, which will have output of all these commands here. Okay, so let me clear this. I'm going to go redirect, and what happened is following commands output will be sent to output.txt file, and these are the commands. Okay, so let's see here. I do ls. So it did create a file name temp file, and then it did create a file name output 1. So let's see in the what do we have in temp file? We have only one line here. Why do we have only one line? Because we are directing only single line here. Okay, now you are directing the single line here. You directed the single line in here. Okay, so you could see here, you could use this commands here, and then you could redirect all these things to different files. So you could have a command running uh, you could have a command running the information to collect on 100 computers LVM information, and then you create a file name, redirect to the file name lvm.txt. Okay, then you could create another line in there, capture the errors and send it to some other line, some other file here. So now these are the two examples of how I could show you, like it could manipulate all this. Now you could do hundreds, not one or two. And let's do output 1.txt, and you have all the commands, the output for all the commands in here. Okay, you could make it look nice, but this is just an example of what is actually happening. Any questions? Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Don't hesitate to ask questions, because if I'm going too fast, I need to I will slow down as needed. Okay, so okay, so this is like uh, redirect in script. Okay, give me 1 second.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
So, the echo, the command which you gave, can't it be like, well, like we are redirecting to output.txt file, right?
Yeah.
So why do we need a echo before that? Is it necessary? Because we are already redirecting it, right? So if we echo that, it will show the output to again, and then it's going to redirect.
You're running this command inside the script here. So let's take a look here. If you could run this, um, you don't need to, but I'll see here if this is workable. And then you go um, text test.txt. Okay. I'm just putting the extension .txt. You don't have to put anything. Okay. So no, it's not working here. So let's see if the text.txt got created. Okay, so yeah, test.txt got created too.
Okay.
So but what happened is it didn't match, it didn't capture anything. So it captured only the last. So it looked at only the. So it looked at, it captured only this part here. So for you to be able to capture all this in here, you have to put in quotes and backtick. So you have to use the echo command.
Okay. So we are redirecting it, right, sir? So why does it need to show the output to us on the screen? Is it?
Because this is running, these commands are orphan now. They are running independently. It ran this
Okay.
command, it ran this command, and it ran this part of the command. Then it realized this command need to go in there. Okay.
Mm.
So for us to be able to do this here, let me try. Backtick, backtick, and backtick here. So let's see if it's gonna work. We'll use that. So we did ls also. So it may have gone in there. So do vi. No. So what you could do is you could run the same thing here. Echo. Now it will work. See?
Okay. Yeah. So in the script, we don't need to give the echo.
No,
We
you
can
do.
just give the redirect file
No,
name.
you do. You do need that because it worked when you, when I give this echo. Remember, I just gave you the echo at the command line. It worked.
I was talking about the sixth line in the script.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Okay.
This one here. You're worried about this one here. Why do we need to give echo in
No,
there?
no, no, above the above that.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh no 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 no. This one is just. This one is just for your visual output. You don't have to have this in there.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm asking. So if you
Okay.
don't want the visual output, we can just give the last command too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you don't want, you
Okay.
could just. I mean, I'm telling you, this is just for the visual appeal. If you
Okay.
don't want, you could just have a. You could just have these things running here. You don't even need this. Uh, you just have the things running as needed.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, but it's a good thing. There you have a question and you ask. Okay, good. Okay, so what I'll do is this is output. redirect in script output. Okay, and I'll see here. And now what about the input? So if you could do output, you should be able to do input, right? So let's talk about that. Input. How are we going to accept the input file? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say temp cp template. I'm going to get rid of the file here, so it might cause problem. And so I'm going to do cp template.sh, and then I'm going to do redirect input.sh. Okay, so we're going to do redirect input. So I'm going to go in here. This is a input. Okay, this is input file. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is and I'm gonna make another comment here, accept input at the command line. So what I'm gonna do is okay, so what I'm gonna do is accept input. You know what? Actually, we'll wait for this. Redirect in a script. So give me 1 minute here. Input. So redirect in. Okay, for this, we'll come back to this one here. Okay, so I'll just hold off on this one here for now, because what I need to show you is I need to show you I need to show you how to put two commands or two input at the command line here. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Before that, we'll come back to this one again. So let me see here. So let me do ls here. So let me just go ahead and remove this from here. So I'm going to copy CP template and then input .sh. So I'm going to go vi input .sh and then I'm going to say here this line accept multiple inputs. Okay, and I'm gonna go down here. It says I'm gonna go here. It says city equals $1. Okay, now look at this here. This is like a multiple inputs here. State equals $2. $2. $1, $2, and $3. I'll show you how this is working. Country equals $3. Okay, so what is this? This is kind of a variable, but you have to give this at the time of. You have to give this at the time when you're running the script. Okay, so I'll say echo city is. Now what do I put down here? City would be dollar what? Dollar is city. Okay, state is dollar state, and country is dollar country. I'm going to close this, and so this kind of situation, how are you going to run this here? So if I type input.sh, it says city is blank, state is blank, and country is blank. But you have to know what this is for. So I'm going to type a city as Chicago, and then I'm going to give a space Illinois, and then I'm going to give a space type USA. So now what happens is it says city is Chicago, state is Illinois, and the country is USA. Why is it not taking that? Let me go in here. Country is dollar. So I wrote it wrong here, right?
I think your variable when you were assigning it was misspelled.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. $3. How about that? Okay. So this is a classic example. You don't delete thing, you just comment it out. Okay. I think I told you earlier. So now it took the thing here. It says city is Chicago, state is Illinois, country is USA. What if I add like a few more here? New York. So what will happen is it's going to take only 3 variables. If we add the 4th variable, it will be ignored here. Why is it ignoring? Let's take a look here. Because we don't have the 4th item in here to accept the input here. Okay. So you have to put at least 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. So this is where the comments come in. So you go in here and you put in, you make a comment here, provide input at the CLI. Okay, that should be enough here. So when you come into the script here, and you could put some instructions here how you could use the script. City is $1, state is $2, country is $3. So you will be accepting this at the command line here. So let me copy this and let me paste it here. Accepting input at command line. Okay, so I'm gonna do this here. Oh, a little slow response. What I'll do is I'll start putting the name of the file in here so that I remember it. Okay, so now how are we going to run this? This is how you run this. Input. So I run input.sh, then I'm going to give the name of the city. Okay, so this is just a silly example here. You will see how this could be used to take input. We'll work on this later on when we do a major scripts here. Okay, so you type input.sh and nothing comes up here. So usually this is when the user is using, this is where the script permissions comes in, because you have to give the user the read access also. So where is the input? Okay, so the regular users, if the owner is not using a regular user, they should be able to read it, okay, and understand what the script means here. So before that, you could also put in here at least this part here, right? So I think let's do this here. Echo enter these are instructions, and then you go echo, give it a line, then you go echo this script accepts 3 input. Then I'm gonna say echo city, state, country. Okay, okay, so now I'm gonna exit out of here. So if I am naive, if I just run this here, okay, these are the instructions. This script accept 3 inputs. Okay, you could elaborate even better here. So you could do echo a couple times. Echo, echo, and give another echo here so that it looks good. Okay, and now I'm gonna exit out of here, clear. So if I'm running input, these are the instructions. This script accept 3 input. Okay, now it's still confusing, and I'm gonna put here 3 input at CLI. Okay, and if you want, you could put down example also. Okay, so I type input.sh. It says These are the instructions. The script accepts 3 input at CLI, city, state, and country. And I'll say, okay, I go input dot, and I go, so what is it, New York. So make sure this is one word, or else New York, and then you give NY, and then you give USA. So it accepts 3 inputs here. So over here, the city is New York, state is New York, and the country is USA here. Okay, we will build up on this here. So the important thing is here, each dollar sign is each input here. Each time you put in the dollar sign, and it will be $1, $2, $3. That's it. There is no way around it. First will be $1, second will be $2, third will be $3, fourth will be $4. You could play around and see how this is gonna impact your input here. Okay. So in here, accepts CLI input. Okay. All right, good. So let me copy this and this here and this here. So it's harmless here, input, and I'll put down here Atlanta, Georgia, and USA. Okay, there you go. Input.sh. So these are the instructions. This script accepts 3 input at CLI. But if you're running this for your own sake, you don't have to do all this here. But it's a good practice. Any questions so far regarding input? I'll show you how to accept the file and then work in that file a little later, because I think that's too early to do that at this moment here. You have to understand a few more steps before we do that.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
I have one question. So, can we also give input dot sh hyphen c city and hyphen s state, something like that? Huh?
Alright, so what do you want?
Like hyphen c city.
Okay.
Hyphen c.
Okay.
Hyphen c city. I mean, give the inputs like hyphen c is equals to city, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, what it's gonna do is it's just gonna grab this part here. It will become a part of the input, so that you want to do it so that it looks good on your eyes.
Yeah, I'm saying like any post you on.
Is that what you want?
No, sir. So
What do you mean
me post it on
hyphen?
chat. I posted on WebEx chat.
Okay, so let me take a look here. What did you do?
Something like this.
So each item will be input there here. So hyphen. What do you mean hyphen c city and hyphen S state. Now, so this will be number 1, this will be number 2, this will be number 3. Georgia and USA will be ignored. See? It's just the placeholder, you're putting that in there.
Okay.
So the moment you run the script, this is S1, this is S2, and this is S3. And this is no S4 and I'm sorry, not S1. $1, $2, $3. And you could have hundreds of in there, but if it's not accepting it, that means it won't accept.
Okay.
Now,
So,
what are you trying to do here? Tell me.
so my question is like, suppose if we give -c, I want the script to fail, like, tell them like, please enter the city name, something like that.
You could definitely fool around and put that in there.
Okay.
Yeah, you going in the right direction. What you could do is just hold off. We have completed only 10% of the scripting.
Okay.
All right, wait until the entire scripting session is done. Then you will understand here. There's a lot of other stuff coming.
Okay, sir. No,
There's a
I was
lot of
thinking that that should be mentioned in input file.
very, very
No
good.
problem.
Your forward thinking is very good. I like it. But you will because we are not there yet, and there are other concept in the scripting that you will get to know. And once you know every concept of scripting, then you will be able to do that. Validate. You're trying to validate what the user is putting in, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, very good. You could do the
Okay, sir.
validation a little later here. Okay, so we have done only 10% of the scripting. Eh,
Okay, sir.
all right, good. So let's see here. Uh, Let me do here how we gonna do this here. Let me give you a practical example here. Okay, so this might not work here. So let me do this here. So this is let me do this as accepting input at command line. Mm. Okay, example of uh, so let's do working example. Okay, so what you could do here is you take the script. I'm gonna do CP input, and then I'm gonna make it like, okay, we got a task to ping couple servers here, right? So I'm gonna do ping.sh. Okay, I'm gonna go vi ping dot sh here. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna go say server 1, server 1, server 2. Okay, I don't need this. Let me get rid of this. And then I go like server 3. Okay, and let me get rid of this, and I say echo what am I going to do? Echo is let's see here. Okay, echo. This is ping test. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is echo echo, and I'm gonna say this is server 1. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in the command here. Okay, ping -c1. That means it's gonna ping only once, and I'm gonna say $server1. $server1. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this here. So I'm gonna say $server3, server3, 3 or $server2. Okay, now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna give you instructions. These
Sir, what is this -c for? Like ping -c?
ping -c is gonna ping only once. Ping
Sorry, sir, again?
ping hyphen is count 1.
Okay.
Ping once. I think yeah. Okay, if you type ping google.com, it's gonna continue pinging like until you stop it. So it's not stopping on its own. So if I do ping count, C stands for count 1, google.com, is gonna ping once and it will cancel itself out. Do you see it? It pinged only one time.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay, now, yeah, there are some things, that's why you have to read the man pages sometimes, okay? But it's a good thing you do a trial and error also. So let's do this here. Provide input at these are the instructions. This scripts accept 3 input at CLI. Then give server 1, server 2, server 3. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clear this, and if I say ping.sh, it gives me a lot of errors here, so I have to clear this. And usually what you do is you go in here and then you go in here and read it here. But why is it not giving me the read instructions? I think it did give me the read instructions, right? So if I go scroll up here, so it did give me the instructions, and then it's throwing, this is a ping test and the server 1. So it is running it, but it's giving the error message here because the ping is running automatically. So now what we do is /ping, and then what I could do is google.com and cnn.com, and what else you want? You want I don't want to apple.com. Okay, so I'm gonna hit enter here. Okay, and it says ping test server 1 ping google.com. And okay, apple.com is not pinging, that's why it's hanging up. Did it ping? Okay, so let's look at it here. So we type in google.com and it took the input. This is a server 1 and it pinged google.com. Okay, these are the result here. And this is a server 2, ping apple.com. And oh, wait a minute here, why is it it ignored server 2 uh, because I think I have something in the script. Let me clear this. Okay, so dollar server 1.
So for server 2, you're pinging server 3, which is why if you see that this is server 2, below that it's dollar server 3.
Yeah, very good. You have a good eye for looking for the errors already, which is very good. So I'm gonna type. Okay, now it's doing. Did it do CNN already? Yeah. And then it's gonna cancel out when it's gonna do this here. Okay, so it pinged. This is a ping test. This is server 1, it pinged Google, and this is server 2. So what you could do is you could make it look good, right? So here you could have echo here. You could have this here like this. Okay? And you go down here. Okay, it looks better on the eyes and it's much more readable. There you go. This is ping test, this is server 1, and it's giving you this whatever the echo command we put in here, and then there you go. So now you see you learned something which is basic here, and actually this didn't make any sense here. Hey, what am I doing here? Just the output here, but we took same exact thing here. Okay, if you look at it here, this part and this part, using this part here is nothing, a similar thing, right? And then output here is you're putting in the commands in here. Okay, so now tell me who is not enjoying learning Linux here, so that I should know. So nobody enjoying Linux?
No, sir, it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Actually, it's much more fun than Windows, and I told you, you automatically get a higher pay here. Yeah, once it gets on your resume that you have Linux and you have scripting and all this here, is going to be really good for you. Okay, so the next is if, yeah, all right, so we are out of time. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna end here. This week, if possible, middle of the week, I could open. I'm available for 2 hours. Everybody, let me know if you could join, and we'll have some open discussion, like some thing which is bothering you and you are hesitant to ask the question. Bring those questions, and I'll open for 2 hours in the middle of a week, like Wednesday or Thursday, and then we'll iron out some stuff here. Okay, we'll go over some burning issues you have that you're not speaking up. So we'll have a session maybe during the day. Is everybody working or everybody working from home? What's going on? Is a weekend is the only thing?
So I'm looking for jobs, so I don't know about others, but I mean I'm actually working in that direction.
I'm also available during the day.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
available.
do this here. Everybody, put in the chat when everybody would want to do it. I would rather do Wednesday or Thursday in the afternoon. I don't know, some East Coast guys, you all have jobs, so let me know if one of those days you guys are working from home. Maybe like take a lunch break and then we'll work 2 hours as an extra class and then we'll iron things out here. Okay, please bring questions to the class at that time. Okay, please. And I'm waiting for everybody to uh, at least start connecting to the server and work on it a little bit at least, please. Okay, so with that note, I'm gonna end here, and we'll catch up middle of the week. Okay. All right, everybody, have a good weekend. Love is.